Claudette, Christine, how many more have you been having affairs with? I've tried, Les. I've tried to forgive you. I've tried to understand. No more lies. That's what you promised. You are ripping my heart out.
It's not what you think.
Yes. Yes, it is.
No, I can't tell you what it is, but you've got to believe me.
I don't think I'll ever believe anything you say ever again. I can't do this anymore.
I'm Christine. Christine is me. I've wanted to tell you, but I've dreaded you knowing. You know how stressed I get. I'm surrounded by grief all day. It gets to me.
Les, what are you talking about?
Sometimes, I'm not talking very often. I need not to be a man. I need to be softer, more emotional, feminine.
So, what are you saying? That you put on women's things? No, no, I mean, you're my husband.
I'm sorry.
You wear dresses. How long has this been going on?
Since I was 7.
60 years. Where does Claudette fit into all this?
No, Claudette and me. I told you, Bertie, I wasn't lying. There was never anything sexual between us. There's never been another woman.
I feel sick.
When we got married, I didn't feel the need. But then Laurie died. I needed some way to express my pain.
You had me.
No, you had me. I had to be strong for you. I couldn't be strong for me as well. And that's when Christine came into my life.
You talk about her as if she was real.
She is. She's real. She exists. And when it gets too much for me,
You go round to my best friend's flat and slip on a pair of M&S panties. I need to know something.
anything.
Have you ever worn any of my clothes?
Once. You bought a purple cardigan with a lace neckline. I tried it on. You decided it wasn't for you, returned it. And that's the only time, I swear. I'm still me, Birdie.
Do you speak differently when you're... I mean, like in Tootsie or...
Well, yeah, it's not quite like that, but... Yeah, I do sound a bit different.
You know the worst thing about all of this? Is you'd never have told me. You'd have carried on letting me believe that that you'd had an affair.
I'm sorry. I love you.
Don't. Touch.
I don't know who Ben Mitchell thinks he is. What's wrong? Have you seen what you've done?
Paul,
She is sobbing her heart out upstairs.
I'm dealing with it.
You've just carried on as normal, haven't you? Oh, you were all full of apologies and promises when she found out about the affair, but now it's like nothing had happened. And Nan's left to deal with it.
I know what I've done, and I'm sorry. As soon as I've finished here, I'll go up and talk to your Nan and...
It's still going on, isn't it? With Mrs. Hubbard. Look, Nan won't say it is, but I know it is.
It's not still going on. I just had some bad news. It's got nothing to do with your granddad. You didn't give me a chance to tell you.
What sort of bad news?
It doesn't matter. Unless you're going to help your granddad, then you'd best leave him to it.
Thank you for not saying anything.
I don't want him knowing any of this. I don't want anyone knowing.
Me neither.
You should have told me years ago, before we got married.
I was ashamed.
Yes. I don't know who you are anymore. You say you're still you, but you're not. Not to me. I never thought I'd say this, but you disgust me. I came as soon as I could. 10 years. You've known about him for 10 years.
Les begged me not to say anything.
You were supposed to be my best friend.
You were grieving over Laurie. You'd lost your job, and Les said it was the wrong time.
What about my time over this last decade?
If I'd said anything, I'd have been betraying him.
You felt all right betraying me. I thought I knew him.
You do?
Yes. Everything. Except he wants to be a woman.
Les doesn't want to be a woman. That's not what this is about.
Then what is it? Is it me? Because there's obviously something missing from our marriage.
He's exactly the same man you married over 40 years ago.
That's just it. He's not, though, is he? He's this whole different other person. Someone I know nothing about. The pair of you laughing behind my back all these years.
But we never did that.
It would have been easier if you had been having an affair. All these working years, being a social worker, helping people come to terms with things that they never thought they were able to. When it comes to my life, I haven't a clue what to do.
What if a wife had come to you back then and told you a similar story? What would your advice have been?
Maybe I'd have said something like, don't let your imagination run away with you.
That's good.
That she ought to talk to her husband. Find out from him why he does it. What he possibly gets out of it. You always were good at makeup.
None of this changes how I feel about you.
One thing I've always treasured, took for granted, was how we were always honest with each other.
I was just trying to protect you.
You lied to me. That's what I'm finding so hard to come to terms with. But you're right. We need to sit down, talk, so I can find a way of getting my head round all this. I spoke to Claudette earlier.
You must be angry with her, Bertie. She was caught between helping me and hurting you.
That you felt you could share all this with her and not me. That's what hurts.
I was ashamed. At least in the early days.
But you're not now.
Well, Christine's been a part of my life for a long time.
It's just all so secret, so...
Seedy.
Oh, you said it.
I promise you it isn't always like that. Isn't even always secret. I do go out dressed as Christine sometimes. When I'm abroad, those Gran Canaria trips.
Lads on tour.
I didn't go with my old schoolmates. I went with Claudette.
Oh,
It was the only time I felt brave enough to go out in public.
you were going on holiday with Claudette?
After we'd done it once, it became an annual event. My one chance every year to feel what it was like out in the real world as the other part of me.
All these years.
They weren't really holidays. It's more like therapy.
The pair of you. Sipping cocktails and dancing the night away. You in a dodgy wig and your size 9 slingback.
No, that's right. Go on, laugh. You wonder why I never said anything? At least Claudette accepts me for who I am. Sorry, that was uncalled for. I'm still your Les, Bertie. It's just Christine. She's a part of me too. I'm not sure I can live without either of you.
I think me and Christine should meet, don't you?